Alright, so folks, we are very happy to bring to you another video brought to you by Salad Ventures as we perform an introduction to the world of Ninneko. As you can see, this game has already been up and running for some time already. I am a passionate player because this is definitely by far one of the more enjoyable games that you can get out there in this current play to earn space. But of course, as the market undergoes all of its recent corrections and instability, there is a lot of doubt along the way, definitely with the values of the coins that are lowering in value. But of course, this would only amplify the opportunity for you as a new player to get into the world of Ninneko. Now, we'll talk more about those tokens in a very quick moment, but again, just a very quick introduction. Basically, for Ninneko, you are looking at an idle game that revolves around a team of Nekos up to 6. Okay, so you can see here, of course, they have the white paper introduction where they talk about the Ninneko needing to conquer the entire forest, to build new villages, establish strong empires. And all this, in fact, is going to be towards the roadmap that they have when it comes to building this metaverse itself. Now, they do talk about this in the roadmap over here, so you can see that the Guild War is starting this month, or rather next month in April, and they have the village building that is taking place in May. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the next couple of months. So of course, you can see that they have moved with very quick pace, alright, because this game again was officially launched in January, and then we saw a really huge spike in terms of the value of the Nekos that went all the way into February. But since then, we have seen quite a bit of a dip. So again, the opportunity to enter is huge, all right? So we'll talk more about that very soon, especially when it comes to the marketplace and the tokens. But you can see that the team has been very quick about moving from step to step, all right? And that is what really excites me the most. So essentially, again, you need to build your Ninnekos by going over to the marketplace and essentially building a team. So this is what the old interface looks like. We will actually show you the actual interface in a separate video with my personal account. But essentially, you could start with just one Neko, all right? But that is only going to get you as far as within the PVE aspect of the game. If you want to go further, you would need to get more Nekos, preferably up to 6. And then, of course, to participate in the PVP, you would also preferably need to have 6 as well to really utilize your farming, all right? Because what you are farming at the end of the day is Mata. All right, so you can see right now that Mata actually stands below the 1 cent mark, all right? So 0.006878, all right? So it's definitely at its all-time low. But what we want to assure you, again, is that this game is definitely going to pick up. It's only a question of time when more players come in. And we have seen the potential of Mata because we have, when we started the game, Mata was at 3.5 cents, all right? And then, of course, it started to dip to where it is today. So the benefits of getting Mata was actually primarily for breeding, okay? But now you can actually use the Mata to go into the item shop, all right? Because prior to this update, you were not able to buy Mata and put it into your game account, all right? Thus forbidding you to be able to buy the in-game items. Now you can see that the green fish here is used to level up your Nekos. The purple fishes are the ones that allow them to limit break, okay? So when you hit a max level and you need to evolve your Neko to get to an even higher level, the purple fishes are very important. Now, purple fishes are very hard to come by. You can rarely get them in the PvE zone, and you tend to get more of them as you perform your daily quests. But that is what really holds people back, because you can only get 200 purple fishes a day. Now, if you are able to make the purchase and utilize the marketplace store, you could actually buy the Mata, buy the store items, and then have them delivered into your game account. So what this means is that for new players, not only will you have a very low, probably one of the lowest barriers of entry that we have seen for this game in a while, but you would be able to play catch up with some of the other players very quickly, because you are no longer prohibited by time. All right, you couldn't get these items before. You would need to grind the Mata in the game and then of course make the purchase. But now you can purchase them outside of the game and have them delivered to your Nekos within the game itself. So we talked about breeding, and that is something that you want to explore as well, because it can help you to grow teams and build more teams to earn even more mata. Alright, they have been quite flexible when it comes to owning multiple accounts. The only catch is that when you gift your Neko perhaps to your secondary account, you would need to wait a week before the cat becomes unlocked. Only when the cat is unlocked are you then able to collect mata within the PvE zone and also the PvP zone as well. But the cats are in fact able to level up, alright? So they can still grind in the PvE zone, they can still earn the green fishies, and the purple fishies is just that they cannot gain you any mata. So again, back to the whole concept of breeding, you will require your NINO token, alright? So the NINO token also facing quite a fair bit of a dip, alright? We did see this climb till about 26 cents, okay, if I'm not mistaken, during the period where they were having their Sapphire box sale. And since then, as you can see, it has dropped down to 8.5 cents, alright? You need about 350 NINO for every single time that you breed, and more mata accordingly when you breed your Nekos. So think Axing Infinity, the more times you breed your Nekos, the more mata you're going to have to spend. But the NINO token amount is always fixed when you breed, and that is at 350. So you can see just one quick example of a Neko. This is one of the warriors that I have, and bred with the ranger and another warrior as well. And we ideally try to breed them about 2 times to follow the very typical ABC breeding method, alright? So what I would suggest for all of you new players is to start with a team that is able to breed with one another, alright? So ideally you want to have like 6. If they can all be virgins, that is fantastic. But at the very least, you want to have at least 3 who are virgins, alright? So A and B will basically breed with one another. They will give you babies D and E, alright? We're missing C. C was the 3rd virgin that you purchased that actually breeds with D. So when C and D create 2 more babies, one of those babies will breed with E and create 2 more. And this will create this endless breeding cycle within your own pool, unless you don't want to breed one of those Nekos along the way. But I have been quite fortunate in regards to getting the Nekos that I want, alright? So far, none of them have been born with trashy parts, and hence I've been able to keep breeding. I was quite fortunate to get a katana as well, which is something that I did not start out with, alright? So this is a bit of a bonus, and you can see that some of the hidden traits were the ones that I had initially, alright? You can see that he has a hook mummy and he has a Rui daddy, alright? And that is hidden in 1 and 2 respectively. The katana came out from nowhere, and this is a great bonus to add more variety to your team. So I would definitely recommend breeding at least with 3 virgins out of your first investment of 6. Alright, so before we talk about going to the marketplace and purchasing of the Ninnekos, we talked about the breeding just now as well, so all that is very clear. Basically, this game is all about factions, alright? You have your different elements of fire, water, thunder, wind, earth, and yin yang, alright? So what you basically want are 6 elements of the same kind. Now, there is a catch, because if you were to invest in, let's say, 6 fire, and if you come up against a team that is pure water in the arena, you are definitely going to lose, alright? But of course, if you are facing a team that is comprised of 6 wind, for example, that is where you have the advantage, alright? So that's how it works. Basically, water beats fire, fire beats wind, wind beats lightning, and lightning beats earth, alright? This is the part that gives me a little bit of a question mark, because lightning doesn't directly affect water, which is, for all Pokemon fans, you would know that electricity always trumps water, and you don't really expect lightning to beat earth, because that's what happens when lightning goes into the ground, right? Basically, it gets absorbed. So I don't really know that part there, but it doesn't matter, right? The thinking is fixed that lightning beats earth and earth actually beats water. That I can actually get with, because, you know, earth actually absorbs water, for example, and the rest is pretty simple. Now, here's the catch. If you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you will lose on an elemental disadvantage, basically you could have a team that comprises of more yin-yang. Now, yin-yang will actually function with any other elemental that you have to give you the 6 similar faction bonus. So one way to go about it could be perhaps you have 3 water and 3 yin-yang, 2 water and 4 yin-yang, 4 water and 2 yin yang. And the end of day picture is that it is all classified as 6 water because the yin yang will work with the element that is the majority within the team. Now again, just to highlight, when you have 6 of the same faction, you are going to get a bonus of hit points and attack power. Alright, so don't go with the fancy 4 faction, 2 faction kind of thing. You don't have to do that because that's going to lower your bonus in battle. Just go with 6. Pick an element that you like. It's a roulette anyway. Now a lot of people tend to go for the wind, which actually counters the electric, because the electric initially, the thunder rather, was very, very popular. And then everybody started to get more wind, and then ultimately a lot of people started to get fire. And then of course that is when I decided to get an entire team of water to stay true to my Captain Aquatic roots. Now, it's up to you, and like I said, when you go into the arena, it's really a roulette of who you're gonna get, and we'll show more of that in the next video. So if you don't want to have to deal with the elemental disadvantage, once again, you can pick up a little bit more yin yang for your final squad of 6. Alright, you will have the 30% more damage, and you will in fact get the additional accuracy in battle. You will notice that you will have a different color to your damage numbers when you fight in the arena. It will appear as orange. When you throw out a regular attack, it's gonna come to you as white. So you have the different classes, which are basically your warrior, mage, support, ranger, and assassin. Alright, now these classifications are not that essential to your lineup. It's really more to your idle play style that you are looking forward to. And this is something that I will go into a little bit more detail when we talk about the marketplace. Alright, so essentially you have your body parts, okay? So back to the godfather of these kind of breeding games, which is of course Axie Infinity. Your ears and your eyes do not actually play a part in your stats and your ability in battle. They are really more for aesthetic value. When it comes to your hand, that is the main weapon, which is your main attribute and also your special skill. And the rest are really for... Oh wait, hang on a minute. It's actually your ears and your mouth. Okay, correction. So ears and your mouth, that is for aesthetic value. Eyes, tails, and hair make up 3 additional passive abilities that can also define your quality in battle and also the value of your Nekko. Alright, so of course they have your basic stats, which is your health, your attack, your armor, and your speed. All these, of course, very important. When you want to go for more attack, that is primarily for an AoE person so that you can deal more to more Nekkos, more enemy Nekkos. And of course, for speed, that will give you the essential advantage of being able to go first, alright? Because sometimes being able to throw out your special skill before your opponent could make the difference in a PvP round. They do talk about Cattribute that can be wild. Now, these are like your mythical parts, and these are extremely rare. And if you are very fortunate to get a wild part, alright, it will actually give you 2 times of the bonus stats. And again, we mentioned that the hand is the active skill, the hair, the tail, and the eyes will make up the passive skill 1, 2, and 3. The ears and the mouth, again, are only for aesthetic value. Now, this is something interesting to bring up that I didn't mention before. When you breed 2 Nekkos together, right, they don't give you an egg, okay, after all they are mammals. You will get to see your newborn instantly. So this is the cool thing. You will get to see your offspring immediately, and you will know whether it's a win or a flop. And then, of course, it goes on to a 6-day cooldown for it to be able to utilize in the game or to start breeding as well. Alright, you can see, of course, that for the hidden trait 1, that's a 10% chance to carry forward. So, of course, if you have 2 hidden 1 traits that are the same, that's going to be a 20% chance. If you have 2 of the dominant gene, that's going to be 36 times 2, 72%, yada yada. And of course, your H2 is only going to be giving you a 4% chance. Now, for those of you who are very experienced with Axie Infinity breeding, this will be a breeze for you. Now, we did mention that, of course, that when it comes to the breeding of the Nekkos for 2 virgins, basically it's 3,600 plus 3,600, so that's 7,200 mata that you're going to need to invest. And 11,000 mata, again, with one count Nekkos coming together, 5.5k each, 11,000. That's where normally people tend to stop, alright? But you could always push the barrier there for the 18,800 mata breed, especially with the way that mata is costing right now. And especially if you have solid virgins to breed, alright? Definitely something to consider. Alright, so we'll talk more about this system later on, but essentially as you clear PvE zones, you are going to get a chance to open up this little idle chest box that has a maximum intake of green fishes, purple fishes, and experience points up to 10 hours. So essentially, you need to come back every 10 hours at least to collect that bounty within the box itself, okay? I normally collect it whenever I can, and probably once before I sleep and once immediately when I wake up. That's very important, okay? So that you can continue to maximize these returns. So when we look at the marketplace that I mentioned earlier, this is a good way to help you catch up, but ultimately, when you progress far enough in the PvE zone, you will get a lot of green fishes and a tiny amount of purple fishes on a daily basis, alright? And that is one of the fun aspects I like about the idle RPG system. Now, we're going to talk about how the stamina actually works in both the PvE and the PvP environment, but essentially, again, you will need to own the Nekos in order to claim the Mata, to earn the Mata, and when you give your Nekos to another account, for example, they won't be able to perform these two tasks until after 7 days, alright? But if you purchase them directly from the marketplace, your Nekos can immediately start to earn Mata for you. Alright, so we've come to the final portion of this introduction video to Ninneko, and without any gameplay, don't forget we're going to have a video right after this to showcase the gameplay and go into detail about how you can build an ideal team. But before we get to that, I want to give you a little bit of background information about the Nekos that you can invest in and potentially breed as well prior to that video, alright? But what I would advise is for you to absorb the information within this video and then catch our second video as well. Now, what you are basically looking at are the current floor prices for the Nekos. And again, such an amazing time to come into the game because the floor price at one time was like 1.4, 1.5, 1.6 BNB, alright? So look at that whopping difference. But these guys are pretty trashy, okay? So don't be fooled by their prices. If I were to recommend a team, you want to go for Nekos with area of effect abilities, alright? And that is basically AoE that can strike multiple Nekos. So let's talk about virgins, okay? And you want to get someone that is really, really good and somebody who is really tanky who can sit at the front. Now, you don't really need to have a lot of warriors to sit in the front line because, you know, a lot of players tend to play with AoE and backdoor Nekos, so they're gonna get to your backline anyway. So even if you put a full team without a single warrior, that is not doing anything wrong, alright, in my opinion. But if you want somebody with a little bit more sustainability and damage, alright, the hilt is definitely someone to go after. And you can see already there what a big jump in the price. Floor 0.3, and this is going to be at 1 BNB, but of course this is a virgin. If you choose to not go for a virgin, look at that, it's only double the price, okay? So this is a huge bargain at the moment, alright? 0.6 for a hilt, and they are definitely one of the strongest Nekos out there. Now, how to decide a good breeder, okay? You want to look at, again, the eyes, the hair, and the tail, alright? Because if you notice when you click, they have all these passive abilities. When taking damage, reduce 5 speed in 2 rounds to attacker. That's probably reduce 5 speed for 2 rounds to the attacker. That's very meh, you know, very meh skill. 36 accuracy, 36% accuracy, 18% critical damage, also very meh. And you have the bug, is that when the hit points are less than 80%, you can increase 10% armor penetration in the second round. Okay, so this is okay, alright? This is not that bad of a passive skill. Now, you can only unlock these passive skills as you level up your Nekos. And trust me, it only takes about a week to plus to get to the level 100 range to unlock all of these passive skills. So it is very important to value these passive skills, okay? These parts are very, very important. So just to throw some good ideas in here, right, you can see already 10 BNB for something that is very, very ideal for breeding with the Aerial, the Reader, and also the Chimeric. I think for this particular fella, he's got the Wavy that we saw earlier. This is a very, very good passive skill, right? Aerial, 85% damage. And the Reader is definitely one of the best passive eyes to get in the game because when you die, you deal damage 200% attack to all enemies. So this guy actually does an active skill of 110%. So imagine that when he dies, he actually drops down his AoE twice. That's what it means, almost, right? He's dropping his active skill twice onto all enemies in a sort of a self-destruct moment. So definitely one of the best parts to get in the game. Now, if you want to choose others, I would just maybe select a trident as well. It's not bad. Let me just see whether I can recognize a few of them by myself. Mermaid is not bad. Yeah, so when you look at the specific passives, right, they can actually take quite a while. So what I would actually suggest that you do is to take a look at the white paper again. And this is the best place to go, right? Because you can actually see all the best body parts that you can have. Some of which, again, are very, very meh. But some of them will provide a lot of value in the game. So you just need to choose this very carefully. I don't really think you need something that can give you energy, because you are getting energy most of the time when the opponent strikes you. So again, not very fantastic. This long for a hair is pretty decent as well. You can see that when you use basic attack, increase 10 speed. So you get the idea essentially. This is the place where you want to go to take a closer look at all the different skills in case you want to do a little bit more searching within the marketplace. But you could always take your time and to read the stats of those one by one to make that decision, okay? So quite a heavy investment. Even in this current stage, if you want to get yourself a decent hilt, because I have selected the monocle, and this is a great passive skill. When you die, you revive with 50% max health. And what better passive skill to have on a warrior? After finally taking him down, your opponent's gonna have to deal with him again, and he's gonna have 50% health. He's got the Stumpy, which is pretty okay. Yeah, it's pretty okay. You know, I don't know much about this, but when you read it, 43% damage skill, that's great for your AoE, obviously, and 18% critical damage. Not the best, but still very, very decent. And for the Poo, well, that's not bad as well. When taking damage as a tank, you reduce 15% critical for 2 rounds to the attacker. So again, all in all, a very, very decent breeder, starting out at 2.3 BNB. And he does have one really interesting wild part here as well that could be on his head, alright? So that's a 10% chance. He's got a reader as well in his hidden. And yes, all round, he's got the trident over here. Cheese, I'm not too familiar with cheese though. What does cheese do? Let me see whether we can find a cheese amongst the hilts that we have. Yes, we do have one cheese over here. Well, again, not too bad. 25% critical and 25% true damage. Alright, so you basically get the gist of how to make sure that you are searching for the parts correctly, and then you just really want to get a lot of AoE. Alright, so Angel, alright, a mage, you must get silences all your opponents, alright, with an AoE skill. Dracula stuns the entire front line, and that's also great damage, great utility. Pawn, for example, AoE, mage, gets everybody absolutely wrecked, and you lower their armor as well. Sniper, poison, okay? Really cheap right now, look at that, just 0.4 BNB, holy cow. And, well, again, not the best of passive skills, but look at that, you deal 50% attack with the first round, and then you give yourself 50% attack to the opponents for 3 rounds, alright? So in total, that's like 200% damage over time. As a form of an AoE attack, alright? So this is a great skill for anybody starting out a team. A sniper is a must. Who else do we have? I'm a big fan of Biggie. Biggie is great. Biggie performs a burn. Biggie is actually more expensive than the sniper. That is amazing, right? That is amazing. Biggies are really good. My main is a Biggie. Deals damage, 50% attack, burns 100% attack in round 1 to all enemies. So they do vary, but you just want to make sure that you start with as much AoE as possible. Ice cream is still ice cream. You know, ice cream is another great one. It's got a sushi at the back, so maybe that's why I got confused. Again, you see, deal 50% attack, bleed enemy, 65% attack in round 2 to all enemies. Fantastic. Okay, so great lineup of AoE skills. Blade is another one. That's for the assassin. I own a blade. It's very fun. Hits everybody and then lowers their accuracy as well. Another great one to talk about is Stick. Stick is fantastic. I'm not really sure why he's called a Stick. He's got a big rubber duck at the back. But speaking of back, right, he actually targets the back line and stuns all of them in the back line. So if you have a Dracula and if you have a Stick, you're basically stunning your opponent like crazy throughout that battle. And let me see if I just want to add in one more of great value. I know I'm missing something big here. Yes, a chicken. Wonderful. Again, simple AOE. Wow, we don't even have a chicken in the first page. Where do we need to go to find a chicken? Hello, chicken. No sign of the chicken. Very expensive. 0.54. Not expensive compared to where we were at just a few weeks ago. But again, 150% attack to all enemies. Easy peasy, simple stuff. If you wanna go for cheaper options, like you could have those that target the back line specifically. But come on, look at that. Right now, 0.39 for the hook, and there's a sniper at 0.4, right? It doesn't make any sense. This is a easy decision to make, all right? Horrible passive skills, I must say. That's why he's so cheap. Like, he's really trash because he's got a tank passive. He's got a really horrible hair, right, to reduce healing efficiency by 10%. What does that do? That does nothing. And this one, yeah, maybe gives him a little bit more true damage, but that's 10% again, all right? So you more or less get the gist. When they have trashy parts, they tend to be cheaper. This one, 0.42. Not too bad. Ah, that kills it. Pixie, 30% immunity. Yuck. And the doctor as well. Trashy. But again, it all depends on your budget, right? So if you are able to get a lineup of this sort, all right, AOE monsters, that is going to be good enough. Okay, that is going to be good enough regardless of the attributes or the passive skills. I speak from experience because when I went in, we went in at an all-time high. Ridiculous. We paid 1.6 BNB for the trashiest of Nekos, but hey, you know, that's what happens. But that's why we give the value to you now through these videos. I like this guy as well. The Axe, okay? He's very talented because he can target 2 enemies with the least hit points. So not great damage output, but he's a fantastic finisher. So imagine your AoEs go about with their business. And this guy, if you have 2, that's great as well. They could target those that are extremely weak and take them out of the equation, all right? So many different Nekos to talk about. We could really sit here the whole day. But this is the gist of it, okay? So please do your own research, take a look at the white papers, and understand all the skills. And do check out the next video where we go into the gameplay further in depth and also teach you how you can start to play to earn with Ninneko. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the content, of course, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more content in the future from all of us here at Salad Ventures. This is Captain Aqua, signing off.